You pour it into your coffee, your cereal, maybe even your protein shake. But have you ever stopped to wonder what milk actually is anymore? Once upon a time, milk came from cows, and that was that. Now the grocery aisle looks like a science experiment. Almond milk, oat milk, soy milk, coconut milk, even powdered milk making a comeback. So which one's the real deal? Which is healthiest, tastiest, or most planet-friendly? Let's find out right here on History of Food. Let's start with the OG, animal milk. Whether it's from cows, goats, sheep, or even camels, this is the milk that defined human civilization. In fact, humans have been drinking animal milk for at least 10,000 years, since the dawn of agriculture. It's nutrient-packed, high in protein, calcium, B vitamins, and healthy fats. Plus, it's naturally loaded with lactose, a sugar that gives it that subtle sweetness. But here's the thing. Most of the world's adults are lactose-intolerant, meaning after childhood, their bodies stop producing enough lactase, the enzyme that digests lactose. So when some people drink milk, their stomachs stage a full rebellion. Still, animal milk remains a global staple. It's used for cheese, butter, yogurt, ice cream, and basically every comfort food known to humankind. So why did people start looking for alternatives? Well, part of it was health, part was ethics, and part was just curiosity. Because humans can't resist trying to turn anything into milk. Enter the hipster revolution, plant-based milks. At first it was soy milk leading the charge in the early 2000s, marketed as a healthier, cholesterol-free alternative. Then came almond milk, the influencer of the milk world, followed by oat milk, which became the cool kid of coffee shops. So what exactly is plant-based milk? It's basically plants, like almonds, oats, soybeans, or rice, blended with water, strained, and sometimes fortified with vitamins, calcium, and minerals. The benefits? They're lactose-free, lower in saturated fat, and generally more eco-friendly. Producing almond or oat milk typically uses less land and emits fewer greenhouse gases than dairy, but, and there's always a but, plant-based milks come with their own quirks. For one, they're often low in protein compared to cow's milk, unless it's soy milk. Some brands also add sugar, gums, or stabilizers for texture. And let's be honest, some taste like someone whispered milk over a glass of water. Still, for vegans, lactose-intolerant folks, or those just looking to change things up, plant-based milk is a game changer. And it's not just a fad. The global plant milk market is now worth over $25 billion. That's a lot of almonds living their best life. Now, let's talk about the forgotten cousin, powdered milk. You might remember it from your childhood or from your emergency stash during lockdown. Powdered milk is made by spray drying regular milk, basically evaporating all the water until only milk solids remain. It can be rehydrated later by mixing it with water, making it a lifesaver for soldiers, travelers, and bakers. In fact, powdered milk was invented in the 19th century as a way to make milk last longer before refrigeration was common. It's lightweight, shelf-stable, and nutritionally similar to fresh milk, although it can have a slightly cooked flavor because of the drying process. And while fresh milk spoils in a week, powdered milk can last months or even years if stored properly. That's why it's still widely used in developing countries, space missions, and disaster relief efforts. It may not have the glamour of oat milk or the creaminess of cow's milk, but it's practical, affordable, and surprisingly versatile. So, which milk wins the health crown? Let's break it down like a grocery aisle showdown. Cow's milk, high in protein, 8 grams per cup, rich in calcium, and full of vitamins like B12 and D when fortified. But it's also high in saturated fat and lactose, so not ideal for everyone. Soy milk, the closest plant-based match to dairy in protein and nutrients. But some people avoid it due to allergies or misconceptions about soy and hormones, which, to be clear, are mostly exaggerated. Almond milk, low in calories and fat, but also low in nutrients unless fortified. Fun fact, a carton of almond milk contains only about 5 to 10 almonds total. The rest is mostly water and marketing. Oat milk. Creamy, good for frothing, and contains beta-glucan, which helps lower cholesterol. But it can be higher in carbs and sugar. Powdered milk. Nutritionally similar to cow's milk, though it can lose a bit of vitamin C and flavor in processing. The takeaway? There's no single best milk. It depends on your body, values, and taste buds. If you want protein, go for dairy or soy. If you're after eco-friendly options, try oat. If you're stocking for the apocalypse, hello, powdered milk. Let's not forget the planet. Producing dairy milk requires a ton of water, land, and feed for cows, not to mention methane emissions. In contrast, most plant-based milks use fewer resources. But not all are equal. Almond milk is notorious for its high water use, mostly from California, which isn't exactly overflowing with rivers, while soy and oat milk are generally more sustainable. Powdered milk, on the other hand, is more efficient to transport and store, but since it's made from dairy, it shares the same environmental footprint as regular milk. So when it comes to sustainability, oat milk tends to be the current eco-champion. Smooth, tasty, and relatively gentle on the planet. Here's a fun one. Did you know there's been an actual milk labeling war? Dairy lobbyists have long argued that plant-based drinks shouldn't be called milk because, quote, you can't milk an almond. Fair point. But it's also hard to milk a soybean or a coconut. The debate even reached U.S. courts, where regulators considered forcing brands to rename their products to almond beverage or oat drink. Spoiler, consumers didn't buy it. Literally. So for now, milk can be milk, even if it's never seen a cow. Here's the twist. No matter which milk you choose, dairy, plant-based, or powdered, it's all a product of human invention. Cow's milk became a staple only after we domesticated animals. Plant-based milk exploded thanks to modern food tech. Powdered milk? That's chemistry and necessity at work. So the right milk isn't about purity, it's about progress. Each version tells a story about how humans adapt, innovate, and redefine what milk even means. At the end of the day, milk is just milk until you give it meaning. Whether it's cow's milk in your morning latte, oat milk in your smoothie, or powdered milk in your grandma's secret cake recipe, they all serve the same purpose: comfort, nutrition, and connection. So maybe the real winner isn't which milk is better, it's that we have choices. If you enjoyed this video, please check out our other bingeable channels. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution.